Hello and welcome to the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Randomizer 10 Dungeon Blitz Tournament here on SpeedGaming Live 2021. Here today we have a round one match between robthegamer115 and DiegolazoR4 from the SpeedGaming Espanol community. With me today I have Strife Sada on commentary, and yeah, Rob the Gamer is a pretty established runner. He's been around since I believe like 2015, and he's kind of dabbled with all the games. Diego Lazo, as far as I know, has no history of speedrunning the vanilla game. However, he has taken quite an interest in the randomizer format. So we'll see how that goes. I think they're both ready, so I'll go ahead and give them a countdown.
Yeah, and Diego's certainly no stranger to other Pokemon games, though PMD is a different animal. There's always a little bit of overlap.
Yeah, we recently, when we were still in the middle of a Crystal Bingo tournaments for Pokemon, and Diego Lazo did pretty good in group stage and in the bracket stage as well. So definitely showing he's, multi-talented.
But yeah, while we're getting that set up, for anyone who's not aware, the Pokemon are very differently statted in this game versus vanilla games. So expect the runners to be looking for some mains that might be a little bit unconventional, considering if you're coming from main series. But an important starter is always a nice thing to have, and movesets are always going to be important.
Regigigas is pretty good, I think. Let's see. Croagunk's pretty good.
Not bad either. Larion also not too bad.
You're right, Oculus. In the main story of the game, you're not allowed to evolve your starter Pokemon or your partner Pokemon. You need to complete some of those games first. Now it's important to just point out, if you're interested in trying this yourself, you can join our Discord and you can get the patch file that makes this ROM into what it is. And we use the Sky Temple Randomizer, and luckily for us, they've been very generous in sponsoring this event with a pretty large prize pool bonus. Oh, Diego Lazo has not sped up his video game. Oh dear. He has not enabled the fast button.
Yeah, also important to note that the big first difference that we have is that Rob the Gamer chose a male starter, whereas Diego chose a female, which the males get a slightly higher crit rate at the cost of accuracy, and females just have that better accuracy. So typically, most runners do prefer the females, but if you get a different set of starters, it can always help, and there can definitely be some advantages if you happen to find something good in the list of males.
Oh, thank you, Humas Diaz, for the raid. Welcome, everybody. I believe Huma's doing some of these races as well, so there's not much to explain, I guess. Now, it's interesting that Diego decided to go with the female strats and not Rob, since you'd think that's what the runner of the game would do, as opposed to the person who's new to this. But instead, we have it the other way around, where the new guy is making the, I don't want to say correct decision, but the safer decision.
Also saw Rob the Gamer pick up a set of rare fossils, which are always really important to track for this run, how many rare fossils the runners can have. Definitely is a very big safety net and can really determine how much of an ability you have to get out of tight spots.
Yeah, I mean, I like that Diego Lazo decided to pick female, and that's great and all, but he, at this point, has still not changed his game speed to fast, and it's a little concerning because it's not a whole lot of time, but it adds up. Every time you need to walk somewhere, you're walking really slowly, and it literally is double the movement speed. So
from what I saw, it looks like Diego also was able to pick up a stack of rare fossils, and it looks like both of his Mons have pretty decent movesets. Hammer Arm on the Blaziken, Fire Blast on the Feraligatr. Not too bad moves. Looks like we can also see the rest of it. Crunch is pretty good. Crunch is pretty good from the Blaziken as well.
Yeah, in case you're not familiar, we did mention the rare fossils earlier. They do 100 damage when thrown. They're quite a broken item, and they're definitely, I would say, very much meta in completing these randomizers fast, for sure.
Yeah, in fact, I would say the management of how many fossils you have from dungeon to dungeon is probably one of the more important skills that we'll see coming through this tournament.
Diego's just not having a good time. Like, this floor layout's terrible, and then also, like I mentioned, he has not changed his game settings yet, so that's kind of the full explanation for why he's behind. Now you say that, Cindy, but I think I've seen Fissure used like 4 times between these 2 matches so far, and it has missed every single time. And it's always been used by enemies, so...
Yeah, Fissure's not something you use, it's something you find out someone has and then panic.
In our last tournament, somebody styled on Drowsy with Fissure. That was pretty great. Yeah, Rob is kind of flying, actually.
Yeah, double kick Grovile will definitely do that.
Oh, that's a link box. I would pick that up, but I'm not. I guess he's not interested. You know, because I don't know if it's a problem for other people, but when I'm kind of tunnel visioned on, you know, getting through fast and going to the next dungeon fast, I often forget to stop at Electivire and link my moves up. So I find it useful to have a couple of those laying around. If I, did that say pepperoni layer?
I believe it did.
I love this randomizer.
Yeah, of course, linking moves can hurt you a little bit in the early game if you have PP issues and aren't able to find a max elixir. But yeah, linking in the late game definitely can turn 2 shots into 1 shots very often.
Okay, so Diegolazo's finally made it out of Beach Cave, which is good.
Yeah, so he'll be the entirety of Cascade Bluffs behind, but not too deep a dungeon, and Rob didn't have a ton of issues with it, so he could very easily make up that time.
And Temple Tower Music Nodders.
Sharpedo giving him some problems.
One thing about the music randomizer, you know, it's very great in, you know, making sure you have a wide variety of music from the video game to listen to. But in our match this morning, one of the dungeons had no music at all, and it was quite jarring to what we're used to hearing. Now, Diegolazo is having horrible luck with these rare fossils. They're just all missing. There we go. And I'm afraid Fraliator might die from the sandstorm.
Yeah, weather can definitely be a problem in these when you get to low health.
Yeah, we have our randomizer settings set to a setting where damaging weather is less likely to occur. The way it works is it rolls a weather condition randomly every time you enter a new floor, and if it's a damaging weather, it does another roll to try to, you know, get it off. But if it's another damaging weather condition, then you're kind of stuck with it.
Now, I don't remember exactly how the settings work, so maybe you can clarify this, Hulk. So if it's like sandstorming on the first floor of Cascade Bluffs and he dies and has to repeat the floor, is it going to be sandstorm on that first floor again?
I'm not sure, actually. I believe it's rolled every time you get to the floor. Like, okay. every time you get to a new floor, it rolls the chance. I don't think it has like it assigned to be sandstorm on floor 1, floor 2. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I know that that's
a setting. This Krogan has levitate, I think, because Rob's Fraliator's trying to use Earth Power on it and it has no effect.
Ooh. That would have been pretty nice to have on the starter. Obviously, you can't really determine that with the abilities, but
yeah, the way they changed or really adapted type immunities and type resistances is oh, Rob found a frustration TM.
Yeah, Rob found frustration. That's huge.
Huge. But anyways, the only way to truly be immune to ground type moves is with levitate, and same thing with water absorb for water. Same thing with motor drive for electricity.
Is Volt Absorb not in this game?
I think it might be. Yeah, that and dry skin are also in the game, I believe, so those would also give immunities, technically.
Oh, and Diego finds a Surf HM, which is also...
What is frustration, you ask, runner of the video game? Well, frustration basically is a move that as long as you... He found another frustration TM!
Wow.
As long as you don't use any IQ raising items, such as gummies or an IQ booster, it does a static 45 damage every time it's used. So, and this early in the game, it's very, very good damage, but later on, we may see it be outclassed, but that's not for a while, so definitely good for right now.
Yeah, typically for the first like half of this 10 dungeon run, it'll one-shot basically everything. In the second half, if you end up linking it to something, it will often one-shot paired with the other thing. But of course, that's true of most other moves, but...
Now, you know, we said that, oh, okay, so DiegolazoR has not entered the pepperoni lair yet. He's sizing it up, I see.
Going to check the Kecleon shop, see what he finds.
Yeah, he's gonna sell some of his own items. Yeah, he's not interested in that. I think he's trying to... I'm not sure what he's trying to do, actually. I don't know. I don't think selling things is really all that useful, because the only thing I ever buy from tech shops is rare fossils and golden seeds, and they don't charge you for those.
Yeah, that's usually what I have noticed myself doing, is just checking to see whether they have either of those two.
Yeah, the weather is at least better in this game than it was in Time and Darkness. Every time the text box comes up where you see they got damaged by the sandstorm or whatever, in Time and Darkness, that actually hits you with an attack animation. So you have to watch yourself take that damage, like, in real time. Like, every time you get past a certain step count. So it's really obnoxious in that game. They made it better, but it's still annoying, I guess.
So we have both of our runners in the same dungeon again. Rob is about 5 floors ahead right now, but that can easily change. Ooh, this Torterra has Rock Wrecker. That's going to be important, I think, to watch out for with Diego. Rock Wrecker can definitely one-shot a fire type if you're not aware of it.
Well, I believe fighting resists rock, so it should be neutral.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a very powerful move. You want to avoid it at all costs, for sure. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and set frustration. That way he's not having to menu all the way to the menu just to have that move activated. But from what I'm noticing, you know, you can tell a lot about how the player's feeling based on their movement. I can tell Rob's playing this very, very carefully, and there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, it may even be encouraged because, you know, you can be so greatly punished for one tiny mistake. So maybe as the run goes on, we'll see Rob move with a little more confidence. And I just saw him walk past another rare fossil. I don't know if he missed it. He may not have seen it. It's very likely.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess his Grovile has water absorber, dry skin, I guess. I don't think we saw either of our runners check abilities, or maybe I should be watching. The randomizer is as hard as you make it. We have it to where it's challenging, but not impossible. The Sky Temple randomizer is very, very customizable to one's own personal preference. The version we're using, though, has a smaller enemy density because the base download of Sky Temple randomizer just introduces way too many enemies, and it's hard to get a run going fast with that many enemies in the room.
Yeah, either way, even
monster houses are also off, as well as traps.
Yeah, either way, with these settings, you can be very much set back by a single Pokemon using a very powerful move on you. So it's always
golden seed for Rob.
Oh, that's really good. But yeah, you can always be set back by something with one powerful move. So it pays to be careful and pays to always keep an eye out for what is a possibility of killing you. Another golden seed for Rob.
Did you say he had another golden seed? I wasn't watching.
I thought I saw one. I might have been mistaken.
I mean, either way, just with one, that's well and good. Definitely.
Yeah. Have we explained what golden seeds do?
No, if not, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, so golden seeds are just a seed. There's two types of seeds in this game that can raise your level: golden seeds and why can't I think of the other one? Joy seeds. Golden seeds can instantly raise a Pokemon's level by 5. Joy seeds instantly raise a level by 1. Most runners like to give it to their partner, simply because with you making active decisions on your main Pokemon, you can get out of danger a little bit easier than your partner can. So it can definitely help shore up the defenses or turn 2 shots into 1 shots. Yeah, I thought I saw 2 golden seeds in Rob's bag there. I might be wrong.
Now,
Yeah,
if you're
golden
interested
seed does
in, if you're interested in trying out this randomizer, you know, you can download Sky Temple simply by googling it. But if you're interested in getting into it in a speedrun sense, like what these runners are doing today, I do highly recommend joining our Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Speedrunning Community Discord server. Now, at first glance, it does appear to be fully for vanilla speedruns of the main games. However, we do have a section for Sky Randomizer if you're willing to look for races or just to try out the randomizer. I highly recommend checking that out. Rob had 2 golden seeds, good lord. Now, I'm not going to say the odds are stacked against Diego, but I think it's more accurate to say that odds are stacked very in favor of Rob.
Yeah, with the randomizer.
May or may not be large cone.
Yeah, with randomized setting, with randomized Pokemon like this, it really can be anyone's race, but Rob definitely has an advantage going into his lead here.
Yeah, 2 frustrations, a lot of rare fossils. Well, I don't think Diego has seen rare fossils yet, if I'm not mistaken. He did not see them stores. Okay, there we go.
I know he saw some in Beach Cave. I don't know whether he held on to them or not.
I don't think he's had some. Pepperoni Desert? Yo. This is the Pepperoni ROM, everybody.
Rare fossils and a Keck shot for Diego. That's always good.
Yeah, Pepperoni Lair and Pepperoni Desert. God bless.
Facade TM for Rob. That can be a pretty good physical move for the Feraligatr as well.
Yeah, the usage I would find best for that is once Frustration stops killing, Facade does a good enough damage to be that extra oomph that you need to take out things that don't die to Frustration.
Deciding to eat some vitamins here for Rob as well.
Now, I mentioned golden seeds earlier and what they do. One other thing to discuss is they're the only seed in this video game that have a different sprite from the remainder of the seeds. They changed the sprite design for seeds between Red and Blue Rescue Team and these trio of games. And the golden seed actually uses the old sprite from Red and Blue Rescue Team. So it's a little bit darker than most of the seeds in this game, so that's how you can tell it apart.
Diego going into the Drowsy fight here. Oh, he has a 26 stack of fossils. He'll be fine.
Diego does? Okay, great. It's good to hear.
Yeah, he does have some ground to make up, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, that baton pass could have been really bad. Baton pass is such a troll move.
Is there any other big items you think that would be missing from Rob's bag at this point? I mean, he's gotten so lucky, but if you're on the lookout for anything, what is it, do you think, at this point?
If anything, the only thing that may even possibly be more important than what he has is reviver seeds. Because, you know, accidents happen, and misfortune happens more often than accidents, but, you know, we were mentioning earlier how you see Rob playing carefully because this game is so unforgiving. And it's because of that unforgiving nature of the game that items like reviver seeds are crucial to getting far in this.
Very true. We could also see him pick up any of the important scarves that can help you go faster.
All right, there's too many Gyarados on the screen. I'm not comfortable. Oh, he thought the Gyarados was one tile higher because of how big it is. That's an easy mistake to make, I think.
Did he start with Energy Ball in the Grovyle, or did
I think he taught it via TM he found on the ground.
Yeah, that's pretty fortunate as well.
So I believe Rob is in Apple Woods. Is that correct?
I honestly can't keep track. He's going so fast.
Yeah, so Apple Woods, it's gonna have he'll be done once he goes up the stairs on the 12th floor. So he's about halfway through. Unfortunately, it seems like these first couple floors are taking him a long time, so he may end up getting hungry.
Yeah, he's had to do quite a few fights.
Floors.
For a second, I thought that Glaceon was using Tailwind. That could have ended poorly.
Oh yeah, the one that raises the speed of everybody in the room. Yeah, I love that. I think Diego just passed over some rare fossils. I mean, it's definitely an upgrade from our last race where neither racer used rare fossils at all. You know, we've graduated.
Yeah, I mean, last time we saw him, Diego had a healthy... Yeah, he's still got 23 fossils. So there is an argument that he doesn't need them, but you can always have more.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having more. Like, the only time you wouldn't want to have more is when you have triple digits, and at that point you can use one on every enemy you see for the remainder of the video game. And that's probably the most comfortable position you can be in, because I don't think there's a single Pokemon in this ROM up to where we stopped playing that survives 100 damage.
Yeah, the final boss of the run we're doing is the only thing that would probably survive.
Correct. And Rob found a Space Globe.
He does have decent moves. I don't know. Does Space Globe interact with Frustration well? I don't think it does.
It doesn't change Frustration. So what the Space Globe does is it raises the base power of the move. It doesn't raise damage directly. Every move has a number value associated with it for you know, its base power, and Space Globe basically takes that and doubles it. But a lot of the moves in this game have very low numbers, like, you know, maybe 20 or below, so it doesn't make too much of a difference.
Diego here equipping a tight belt to his Blaziken. If I'm correct, that decreases hunger effects?
I believe so, yes. It makes your hunger drain slower. That's a great idea, actually. Yeah, no, I mentioned earlier we might see Rob getting hungry, and he just did. To the point where you know, he just had to eat some of his plain seeds. I mean, I haven't really seen any apples from either of these guys.
Blast Seed, you could eat that for food?
I mean, yeah, it's not really harmful or anything, as long as you're not looking at your partner. He's gonna eat the Warp Seed for a double effect. One, to, you know, have more of the floor to explore, potentially get to the stairs faster, and two, to fill up that belly. So, very, very smart from Rob. And he's hungry again. Yeah, so I think Type Bell was actually, like, might be play of the game, because Rob's gonna waste a lot of time filling up his belly.
Yeah, that could definitely help Diego close the gap, especially since I think they're in the both in the same
He's gonna die.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, he had a reviver.
Yeah, I think you're given a reviver after you clear Waterfall Cave.
Yeah, I believe you are.
This pin missile could be really bad.
Yeah, pin missile can really hurt.
He didn't need to do that much damage to Rhyperior. Rhyperior and all these like massive Pokemon have really, really embarrassing HP stats. So probably would have been fine with the frustration, but you know, that thing had pin missiles, so it wasn't even worth allowing it the chance to come close. Yeah, energy ball is definitely the play there. I take back my comment.
Yeah, any multi-hit moves in these ROMs can really end up being pretty threatening. They
Especially
were
when they're
nerfed.
ranged like that. Like pin missiles range
Yeah.
and it's multi-hit. It's terrifying, especially if you're a
Missile-
grass or psychic type.
Does Pin Missile also have a chance to poison?
I don't think so. I think you're thinking of Twin Needle.
I am thinking of Twin Needle.
That Earth power is so broken. Okay, so we've gotten to the part of the run for Rob where he's going to have Bidoof in his party, but it's a randomizer, so it's not a Bidoof. It's an Octal this time. And he picked up a stairs orb, which when used, it will just put the stairs icon on the map where it actually is. So basically a free floor.
Inferno Bren pointing out that he needs to change for Alligator's IQ. Do you want to explain why that might be advantageous for him?
I'm not sure why. I mean, maybe for Alligator picked up Dedicated Traveler when it leveled up. I'm not sure.
That might be part.
I'm not sure. I mean, there's not really a point in messing with IQ skills right now.
Diego just picked up a mobile scarf.
Mobile Scarf could be good. See, I was gonna say earlier when Rob was dealing with hunger that Diego was catching up, but Rob is, taking this new opportunity with a brand new belly to, just widen that gap between them. It was closing for a little bit, but then, once he left that dungeon, he hasn't looked back since. Now, this dungeon's only 10 floors, so he's mostly done. And those were at X-ray specs, so they may have been up at the top there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Of course, this dungeon being typically what is Craggy Coast, the next dungeon is the one that, in my opinion, has the biggest potential to kind of wall runners. So we'll definitely have to see if Rob has any problems in it.
Hardest dungeon in the run by far. Mount Horn is what he's referring to. It's about 14 floors, 15 depending on how you look at it. It's by far the longest dungeon, and it's late in the game, so the Pokemon levels are kind of high. It's not fun. Not fun at all.
You also have to escort the, what in vanilla is the Bidoof, and it can have a variety of things that can end up being problematic.
Pepperoni Iceberg. There's too much pepperoni here. What's happening? What is happening? What is this? There's I want to make this clear to everybody. There's 50 first names, 50 second names it can choose from. And it's chosen pepperoni 3 times. That's insane. This Megahorn is not friendly. Meow. Meow. Draco Meteor's so extra for no reason. Oh, so another consequence of Diego not changing his menu options. What people typically do in the menu is they change the game speed to fast, obviously, and then they change far off pals to self. What that does is whenever your partner is out of your sight, by default, it will move the camera over there and have you watch what they're doing. But if you have it set to self, it will not change the camera, and the animations will be skipped. So it's a big thing that Diego might lose time to. But Diego finds a golden seed. Does he know what that does?
Not sure.
He does. He's going to. Well, maybe.
No, he's checking the Brian TM to try and teach the fur alligator. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, we might have to bring that up in the post-game interview. A good time. That's okay. He's not too far off. I mean, I can't say that because Rob is at this point a whole dungeon ahead, essentially. So I don't know. At this point, it might depend on how the rest of this Mountain Horn goes, because as we mentioned before, this is very much the hardest dungeon in this race. Just because of how late it is and how many floors it is, you have to manage everything perfectly. Manage belly, manage PP, manage health. Yeah, you can't avoid this. You're gonna get hit.
And with everything in this ROM, it only takes one Pokemon with one good move to kill you if it ends up being the whether how you view it, the right or the wrong luck. So definitely have to keep playing on point and always make sure that you're playing careful. Diego getting the Reviver Seed, going into Craggy Coast here. And that's half the dungeon for Rob.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that was something to celebrate, but you know, it only gets harder from here, and he's already presumably lost a ton of belly, so we may see him getting hungry. And if he was having trouble maintaining his belly in a 13th floor dungeon, a dungeon that potentially has 2 more floors, it can't get any easier, especially because he's having a hard time finding the stairs. That's a golden seed. He just walked right past. I think. I'm pretty sure it was a golden seed. Interesting.
I don't know.
Now he has a stairs orb and a luminous orb, I'm pretty sure. He's not choosing to utilize either one, which is weird.
He might be saving them for a more tricky situation or late in the run.
Apparently Diego sold the mobile scarf.
Interesting.
So we did mention at the beginning of this that Diego doesn't run these games vanilla. So any vanilla runner will know absolutely how helpful the mobile scarf is. But somebody who's just playing this with the randomizer for the tournament, they may not be as familiar with its applications.
Also, mobile scarf, while being very helpful, in my opinion, is
wait, why are you walking away? It's right there.
Did Rob just use his?
He used the stairs orb, and the hidden stairs spawned literally right next to him. And he was about to walk away. Yeah, I think this is probably the best place to use stairs orbs and luminous orbs because it is the longest dungeon. It is the hardest dungeon. Definitely better to utilize all your tools to get there as fast as possible. Now, somebody in chat asked, when you die, where do you go? This ROM has it set to where when you die, you go back to the start of the dungeon you entered.
Yeah, so as Shadow Phoenix is pointing out, Mobile Scarf, when used correctly, is can be one of the best items in the game. It can help you get out of fights, it can help you blitz floors faster, but I would say, at least in my opinion, the skill ceiling of using Mobile Scarf is much higher than most of the other kind of luxury items in the ROM. Rare fossils, you just throw them out. Even X-ray specs, which we saw used earlier today, you just put them on and they kind of do their thing. Mobile Scarf can be very difficult to utilize correctly, especially since it can lead to having even more belly problems, because if you use the Mobile Scarf to walk through walls, which is its main ability, it will also drain your belly.
Yeah, just to touch on the uses of the mobile scarf, especially in this randomizer setting where floor layouts are randomized and they can come from all sides of the game in the vanilla part. You'll very often see floors where it's a room, but there's like a moat of water separating 2 halves of the room. And sometimes there's stairs on the other half of the room that you can't get to, unless you're running a water type or a flying type. Can't get there, so mobile scarf's good for that. And sadly, Rob dies very, very late into Mount Horn, Pepperoni Iceberg, and he's already used his stairs orb and his luminous orb.
Yeah, I think that was one of the last 2 floors on the dungeon, and he just ran into a couple fire types.
Yeah, that's why we were saying, Rob has advantages. He's used 2 golden seeds on his team. He has 2 frustration TMs. But the game can still dominate you when it feels like it. So definitely makes his careful play super warranted. Now, he's going up against one of the best Pokemon in the game right now because he deals with it very quickly.
The good thing is that he will be aware that those Pokemon can be threats going forward, so he can adapt his play a little bit more, especially if he has rare fossils to deal with them. But he also is running into where that advantage that he got early is starting to stop, because frustration has stopped one-shotting things. So he will need to see if he can find a different solution, or he'll have to tank more damage.
And you mentioned rare fossils. I don't know if he didn't have any when he died in the last time, but if he did have them, there's potential they went away when he died. Because dying in this game takes away half your money, I believe, and also half your items, and it picks them at random. So there's a chance you can hang on to the good stuff you had, or there's a chance it just went away. So definitely want to avoid death if possible. Alright, so yeah, that death was so costly. Now Diego is in the same dungeon.
Yeah, the runners are basically neck and neck at this point with that one death.
Oh, and Diego gets a max elixir. That's massive, actually. Because max elixirs are very common in the base game. However, when you're doing this, you know, every item you could possibly get in the game, minus a lot of useless ones, are shuffled together, so max elixirs are a lot less common, naturally. So having one is a big advantage, for sure.
I also don't know. So it very much depends. The one advantage that Diego might still have is, do you know when the last time we were able to see Diego's rare fossil count? Because, I mean, obviously with him throwing one there, he definitely has some, but that might be a pretty big advantage for him going forward right now.
Yeah, I didn't see Rob's bag to see if he still had rare fossils. Somebody in chat said when he went down last, he had some in his bag. But I'm not sure. He hasn't checked his bag to see if he still has them.
Good to note that Inferno saying in chat that this Noctowl does have flash fire, which I don't know if Rob or Diego saw that, but it can definitely help Rob, since those fire type moves on the last floor of the dungeon were what killed him before.
Yeah, and it's also important to point out for people that may be familiar with main series Pokemon, but not so much PMD. In the PMD, especially in the randomizer, or even in the base game, Pokemon, if they have two abilities in the vanilla game, in the main series game, they have both abilities in this. Pokemon can have up to two abilities. So, it's a neat little bonus. No, alright, we're fine. Oof. Okay, he needs to just walk down. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, perfect, beautiful. That was the perfect way to deal with that. It doesn't hurt to just stop, slow down, and think, you know? Like, you know, the worst thing that can happen is you'll die anyway, but the best thing that can happen, the more likely thing to happen, is you'll survive by the time you spent stopping and thinking about your situation.
Oh, Rob in a hairy situation here. Yeah, I really do think at this point, at least from where I'm standing, Rob probably does need to switch to stop using as many of his frustrations at this point. It's not one-shotting. You're high enough level. You can probably one-shot with your other moves. So you may want to consider setting a different move and trying to get through some of these fights faster.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about with the room where now he doesn't have that rare fossil anymore. That's so sad. I wonder if he's going to go around and go for it. It's so not worth it, right? Oh, there's some rare fossils in the bottom corner of this room. Sweet. No, nothing lost then.
Yeah. Diego's fossil count is definitely a lot healthier than Rob's at this point.
Yeah. That's one of the other things you need to balance here, because we were talking about balance. You know, balancing HP, balancing belly, balancing PP on moves, and balancing rare fossil count is definitely part of this as well.
Yeah, I do also want to point out, I think I've seen him do it a couple times, and I'm not sure if we'll want to ask him later, but I think I've seen Diego a couple times pass a turn by using some of his linked moves. That can definitely end up hurting him in the end if he doesn't know that he can pass turns using either A attack or just the pressing A plus B at the same time.
See, you know, I'd like to believe he knows that because of not changing his settings at all, he has that on the top screen, as you can see below his feed. So it's very interesting he would not implement that. Yeah, he's just kind of going ham with these rare fossils, so he should have a decent amount. Rob is nearly out, but you know, we can't speak yet, especially because he's at such a low HP value right now. Definitely needs to be careful.
Yeah, this Grovyle is definitely starting to struggle with some of the late game content.
Oh, and Diego's about to de-link moves, but he does have that max elixir still, I believe. So.
Yeah, and he can also always start trying to rely more on the Feraligatr. It'll be a little bit slower, but it'll work.
Yeah, what Diego's going through right now, a top player or a player, more seasoned player would know, is just not a room that will lead anywhere good. And once you see the hallway and you see the map positioning and you see, you know, the possible space that a room would need to fill, you can kind of make the assumption that there's nothing there for you, and kind of U-turn and go somewhere else. Yeah, Diego has left Beauty alone for some reason. Alright, there goes his seed, but he should still be fine. Okay, well, would have been great if Noctowl did that 3 turns ago, but you know.
Superb Owl proving to be not quite so superb at this point.
This is not good.
Rob's gotten through.
I'm scared for Diego getting through. Okay, there we go, finally. Oh no.
Magneton,
oh, thank God for the
Thrill
PP
Peck.
skill. Okay, now he's... If he's not out of seeds, he's got very low chance left. Okay,
Can he throw a rare fossil from this point? There you go.
Yeah. Alright, good on Diego for that. Now he's left Gator alone. Or wait, no, he didn't have Gator, did he?
He has the stairs there, so he'll be okay.
Oh, he does have a Gator, okay. Okay, very, very scary, but, you know, he survived. We're good. Oh, yeah, these range moves across the moat are not great. And he dodged the rare fossil. The best way I can liken that to people who've played other games in this series, it's like when you use your guiding wands, when you have Wand Expert, and the Wand Expert doesn't kick in to save your wands. It's really, really frustrating. Especially in that situation where it's not even close to worth it. To go back around and grab it.
Diego should be fine using hammer arms for the rest of this dungeon, but I think he might be having some small belly issues. I think he has the inventory to deal with it, though.
Yeah, I saw when he used that huge apple, he still had 1 more in his bag, so he's definitely fine.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know that he won't have those issues. Rob did have a couple of problems with at the end of Mount Horn with that, but it looks like he was able to get through fine.
Oh, no. Okay, that's ridiculous. Outrage is a move where it chooses a random direction to do hits. That Hitmonchan just did 3 hits of Outrage directly in front of him. That's ridiculous. Unless it has, like, some IQ skill that prevents it from hitting walls, like Course Checker or something. That's insane that it didn't hit the wall more often or hit a different direction.
Yeah, at this point, if Rob has clean execution, that could be the race.
Just, you know, feel for Diego on that one. This really didn't feel like his fault. Well, the type build doesn't prevent you from getting hungry. It just makes you get hungry slower. Where he may have been hungry without it on like floor 7. I believe he didn't end up hungry actually officially until like floor 10. So I think it definitely helped him for sure.
I also don't know if he still had it on at that point. I might be wrong.
Oh, type build prevents hunger entirely? Really? I thought it just slowed it down. That's interesting. Okay, this is a monster house as far as I'm concerned. I know technicalities or whatever, but that's not okay.
Yep, technically you can have a bunch of monsters spawn in the same house without having it be a monster house.
Yeah, monster party's probably fair, because we don't wanna take the oomph away from the original term, but that's a little ridiculous. That's a little crazy. There's a lot going on there.
Diego either has run out of rare fossils or got them taken away when he died, so that definitely hurts.
Nice stairs from Rob. I believe Rob is now on the first part of Steam Cave. Sorry, Wealthy Expanse is what I meant to say. Yeah, like I said, at this point, Pokemon just survive frustration. Okay, good.
Yeah, at this point, frustration is really not that good a
Okay,
move anymore.
can we talk about how gross it is that Diego's almost out of like moves on floor 3?
Yeah, the luck there is not exactly great.
At least he had that max elixir still. I thought he might have used it before he died.
How much PP does he have on his moves at this point?
A lot of his moves have low PP. I'm not sure. But he did just use the max elixir, so he's back to full at least.
Yeah, I think his link moves can be used something like 8 or 9 times.
It's so low. I'm surprised Rob's not going to go for that that jar over there. Could be a max elixir. I guess these dungeons that he has left are short enough, like both of them are under 10 floors, to where PP shouldn't really be an issue, especially since he doesn't have link moves like Diego does.
Also, with the troubles that he had in Mount Horn, it's very possible that he thinks this race is actually really close.
Oh yeah, he died on like the very last floor, really near it, so definitely that could be on his mind. Yeah, I think the stairs for Rob are in the bottom right corner.
Someone in chat pointing out that one of our runners picked up a warp scarf. I did not see that.
I don't know if Diego's put it on yet. I mean, if he did and he's not warping, that would definitely prove that he has Klutz. Like somebody in chat thought that he might.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Or with him not using the warp scarf, the mobile scarf earlier, he might just not be thinking of using that strat.
Okay, so this is the second part of Steam Cave, Evil Bank. Or as we like to call it, just Bank. Put the Evil Bank right next to the Wealthy Expanse.
Makes almost too much sense.
Anyways. Oh, Rob has 27 rare fossils. He's so fine. Like, he can literally just use them again for the remainder of this dungeon. He's fine. That's his moves for the rest of the dungeon.
How long has he had those?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
We're gonna just acknowledge the fact that he's has a lot right now, and that's great. Nothing else needs to be looked through from this.
Yeah, with that many rare fossils, I definitely would have started using them when you get to Steam Cave, but either way, you have them. You might want to start using them.
At this point, it's very solidly Rob's race to lose.
Yeah, especially since the Groudon doesn't really have too much of a chance to troll him. He'll kill it with at least 5 rare fossils, plus for Alligator might be able to chip in to only make it 4.
Yeah, if he sets for Alligator only frustration, like that's perfectly great. Or maybe if he has a move on for Alligator that would do more than frustration, like with a tight matchup. I'm not sure. I think with Groudon's level, and whatever bonuses he has from being a boss, I think frustration static 45 is probably the best way to go for Alligator's moves. Because even if you have something that's super effective, it may not do that much, just because the boss may have some increased stats or something.
Yeah, I mean, plus if you assume Grovile's doing using rare fossils, he only has to add up to so much damage out of the for Alligator to shorten the fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, off the top of my head, I don't know how much health Groudon has.
500.
Oh, 500, okay. Well, that's not that bad then. That's like 3 rare fossils, 2 frustrations, and that'd be like 4 rare fossils and 2 frustrations.
Yeah, 4 rare fossils and, well, 3 frustrations if it deals 45.
He's using Earth Power.
Yeah, I should definitely be setting it to use frustration at this point.
Oh,
Fire Blast is doing something.
Fire Blast did more than frustration would have. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
that's
that's
good.
a win for Rob the Gamer, 115.
GG, Rob.
Let's see if we can get him in here for an interview.
Yeah, not sure if Diego. That was something like a 48 time. That's a pretty decent, very respectable time out of Rob the Gamer. Scary combi.
Okay, so we should have Robin here for an interview very, very shortly. And we have our winner, robthegamer115. How you doing?
That was stressful.
Yeah, we were thinking maybe at the end there, because you died on like 13 or 14.
Yeah, 13.
That you may have thought it was a close race.
Yeah, was it not?
I mean, I think Diego's playing fine. He just didn't change his settings at the beginning, so he's playing on the game on slow still.
Oh no!
He's not playing terribly. I think he's doing fine. He's in I think he's in Foggy Forest.
Oh, okay, that's actually
Oh
not
no, he's
bad.
in Mount Horn still. Never mind.
Yeah, he's still in
Oh,
Horn.
he's still in
I was going to point out he also found a notably smaller number of frustration TMs than you.
Oh my god, dude! So earlier today I did my first run through of this ROM, and I lucked out and got 2 frustration TMs. This was my second go through of this ROM. So I am 2 for 2 on getting 2 frustration TMs.
Yeah, Diego just died again in good old pepperoni iceberg. There's a lot of pepperoni this run.
Oh, a lot of pepperoni, yeah. I try not to pay attention to the dungeon name, but I did notice like there were like 3 or 4 pepperonis.
Yeah, there's like 50 names that I could put for like adjective, noun, like in each of those categories, and it just.
Oh my goodness.
So with winning this race, you will now play against HG Finn.
Oh no!
How confident are you going into that match?
I didn't know how I was gonna do on this match because I had not heard of Diego, so I didn't, and I also haven't been relevant in the PMD community too much lately, so I didn't know if he was a new runner or not.
Diego's a very active member of the SpeedGaming Espanol community, and he does,
yeah, I
think
kind
they
of
do
figured
their own
that because I
tournaments
saw
there.
before the match, I saw him type something in the chat, and I saw he was a mod, so I was like, oh, he's with SpeedGaming. Okay.
Yeah, I think SpeedGaming Espanol hosts their own tournaments, so he does have experience in a lot of these things, but just not anything we would have seen.
Yeah, this is a thing where you really need to have a baseline knowledge of the game. Against Finn, I'll give myself 25% chance of winning.
That's pretty good. I was gonna say, before we started this tournament where we were establishing rules, he was very graciously a beta tester for us, and determining whether settings. Diego, yeah.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
So he was like, this sucked, this was good, this sucked. So, because he wanted to play, because he just signed up for our tournament almost immediately, like when he was signing up for everything else he's doing.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, I guess we can stay until he finishes. We have about 30 more minutes until we have to get off. Yeah, very good time from you. It's about, you didn't have a timer on your stream, unfortunately, but
it was something.
It was a 48:01.
Yeah.
48:01's pretty good.
Yeah.
That might be the best time of the event so far. I mean, I know it's not very much, but
yeah, it would have. So I ran with splits. So that death that I had, I went from the Craggy Coast before, and I was 8 minutes ahead of a 52, so I was on like 44 pace. And then that 14F, I went to 1 minute ahead. So I lost like 7 minutes to that death. So it could have been a 41.
Yeah. I think your partner starter combination was good, and I didn't really notice any big mistakes from you, honestly. I think there was one time you walked away from a golden seed, you may not have noticed it, as well as one time you didn't stop for a set of rare fossils, but in the end it didn't end up mattering, so.
It's one of those things where there's a couple things that I noticed. For example, of course, it was like a minute or so after I died. I was like, oh, I probably had a bunch of rare fossils. Why didn't I just use those?
Yeah, we were noticing you went into the second half of Steamy Cave with how many, like 26?
I had like 26 or so.
You had 27 in the first half.
I had so many. I was like, this is ridiculous. So I set them. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna one-hit KO everything from here. And then muscle memory. LA is muscle memory at this point in the run.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So I was trying to remember to throw the fossil, but there's so many other things. I'm thinking, oh my god, at this point, if I lose, it's because of my death. I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah. Diego's taking a couple spills as well. He's running Blaziken, but he also picked the Gator partner.
Yeah, I remembered. So I will say the reason I chose the Grovyle as my hero is two things. I had been talking in the Discord earlier today and reading on the messages, and I saw two interesting tidbits.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
What?
Okay, you throw rocks at things that are inside the wall. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can throw fossils at ghosts.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Yeah, 'cause I saw him try to use his linked moves on it, and I'm like, it's not gonna work.
Oh, he linked moves?
Yeah, he linked,
Yeah.
What is it, Lick and Bite? Lick and Crunch?
Oh.
Yeah, Lick and Bite, and he has Hammer Arm on the...
Yeah, we were also
know.
gonna ask
It's
about that,
it's
because in the
Sky
early game, you did pass a couple of, link boxes.
Teaching over plus
I guess,
3 Sky Attack.
I guess you weren't interested in those.
Not really, because I don't know if I passed them before or after I got Frost and Energy Ball. But once I had Frost and Energy Ball, I was pretty happy with what I got. Frost does a solid 45 damage no matter what, so that's gonna be useful. It'll one-hit KO a lot of things, two-hit KO things in the end. And then Energy Ball Stab is pretty good.
Stab is really good in these, these races.
Thankfully,
Oh,
And I think Diego's learning how Pursuit works in this game.
Yeah, so
Oh, he
early
still has the
game
golden
was-
seeds in his bag. Yeah, Diego doesn't know how golden seeds work.
Oh no!
It's okay. He knows how rare fossils work. That's the important one.
Yeah, because this is our first race where racers actually use rare fossils.
I'm surprised that he knew about rare fossils and not golden seeds. I feel like golden seeds are more common knowledge with PMD.
I don't know. Were golden seeds in PMD1 and rare fossils
No.
not? I'm not sure.
I don't.
golden
Were
seeds
rare,
are-
I don't.
golden
Were
seeds
rare
are new
fossils in
PMD.
BRT?
No, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I didn't think they were. But like golden seeds, I know how you can get them in the normal game. Can you even get rare fossils in the normal game?
I feel like there's something you might get out of a chest, like those really expensive chests. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I don't know. They're cool here. They're really
I mean,
cool
if he was a beta tester, we talk. A lot of these races are us talking about rare fossils and things like that. So.
Yeah, I may have neglected to mention that because it's more like, how many monster houses did you get? You know, before we decided to get rid of them. How many traps did you hit? And what did you do? I don't know. I didn't really offer any advice, unfortunately. It was more like just him talking about his experience.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say that was stressful.
Yeah, and I mean, we did see early on, just kind of taking your time, like walking very, very slowly, which is fine. It's better to take your time and then, live than rush in and die, for sure.
Oh, he forfeited.
Yeah, this was not great.
Yeah. I was going to say one other interesting decision that Rob, you made is I see you decided to go with the male options, male pool for your starter. Was there a reason you chose that instead of female?
So about 1 minute before we did the race, I suddenly thought to myself, oh, I wonder if doing female is more optimal. And I thought about it, and I was like, female boosts accuracy, male does something?
It boosts crit rate,
Crit rate, that's
but
what
it
is.
decreases accuracy.
Okay. So yeah, I probably will go female from now on. I couldn't remember on the fly what male did and female did, so it was hard for me to make a judgment call, so I just said, I'll just go male. We'll just hope for the best. But no, I will almost certainly do female in the next match.
I'm not sure if Diego is going to join us for an interview, but if he does end up watching back this VOD, the important thing is definitely just learning how good golden seeds are, and making sure you set your options in the beginning of the game, because we did mention early on that setting your game to slow. Oh, there he is. Okay, let me go and bring him in here. Hey, Diego.
Hello.
So, yeah, rough match. It looked like it was going to work out with the Blaziken and Feraligatr. There were a couple things right off the bat in the early game that may have costed you a bit of time. When you start the game, the first thing people tend to do is make their settings. And you were playing the game on the slowest setting, so you were walking very, very slowly.
Wait, really?
Yeah, in the beginning of the game, you go to options, and then others, and then options, and then you can change your game speed from slow to fast.
Oh my god.
And then also, just like these are just the biggest things. You had an item in your bag called a golden seed. If you eat that, you gain 5 levels.
Ah, oh. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, these are just PMD things, so it's definitely understandable if you didn't know these things.
Yeah.
And also, just another thing, it might be better to change your far off pals in your settings to self, because whenever you were having that problem with Noctowl in the dungeon, where he was off on his own fighting, you were having to watch him fight. But if you set that to self, you won't have to watch that.
The other thing you might want to consider is you can change what's displayed on the top screen as well.
Oh yeah, so you had your controls. People typically go with like team stats on the top screen.
Yeah, I usually go with map plus team stats. So
Yeah, I usually do.
Yeah, but despite all these things that you may not have been aware of holding you back, you did really, really well. I think you should definitely be proud of that. If it just weren't for I think you might have dealt with, was it you that had the Hitmonchan outrage you to death?
it must
was really high.
because I only had one death.
Yeah, so it was in a hallway. I'm not sure if the Hitmonchan had Course Checker or something where it prevented him from hitting a wall with outrage, but the Hitmonchan used outrage and it hit Diego 3 times like in a row.
Are
and
you
it did, like 30 a hit.
serious?
Yeah,
Yep.
It was on like floor 13 of Mount Horn. It was ridiculous.
That's brutal.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't know if that was because of the hallway and it having some kind of IQ skill that prevents it from hitting walls.
Actually, that might have been me. I don't know. I know I died on 13 Mount Horn, so
Yeah,
I
you
think
guys,
it was a Hitmonchan that killed me.
Yeah.
But I thought I was dying to fire damage.
yeah,
I'm
you
losing before the 2 reviver seats because the bidoof.
Yeah, it's very important to babysit Bidoof. he can't be trusted. The Noctowl had good moves, but for you, Diego, it was only using Defog. It was really disappointing.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple people in chat also noticed that the Noctowl had Flash Fire, which could have definitely helped with some of the Grovile's weaknesses.
Yeah, I noticed that after the death. Once I noticed that with the death, I was like, all right,
Yeah, very
Noctowl,
good
you're
timing.
taking lead with fire. Because it worked out well, because the Noctowl absorbed fire damage. Grovile was absorbing water damage. I'm like, oh.
Oh, that's a good question. Did either of you ever, in the beginning of the game, check your abilities?
I don't. I usually just go with it and see if I figure them out as I go. Just because me checking them isn't going to change how I play. It
Right.
just isn't.
Yeah, we cut out a lot of the bad abilities, but there are still some ones that you may not want to roll with. The most notable one being Hustle. You can end up with as an ability still.
I guess.
So,
I'm
I don't know,
curious.
maybe it's a personal preference thing, I guess.
Well, I think the big question that we were wondering with the abilities was the ability on Diego's Blaziken, correct?
Right, because you put on a tight belt, and somebody in chat mentioned that tight belt should make you impossible to lose belly.
Was he still losing belly?
He got hungry at some point, so
With a
the
type
Blaziken might have Klutz. If you go to your team and then pick your Blaziken and then go to the 3rd page, you should be able to see what ability it had.
That really really ticks that ability. Oh my god.
Did you have Klutz?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm checking out what Grovile had now.
Yeah, that definitely made an impact for sure. I think
water.
you did really well.
Yeah, okay, so it was water, absorb, and hydration, which makes sense.
Oh.
Because I did notice that there was one point where it was raining and Grovile was cured of poison.
That makes a lot of sense.
Interesting.
So I kind of figured that one of the abilities was something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have too much time left, but I just want to say, Diego, you did really, really fantastically, and I think you should definitely not get discouraged with this loss because you know a lot more now, and I think you'll definitely have a lot more success in the future matches. Now, you will be playing the loser of a match that's not really determined yet. You'll be playing either Pixel AR, CPU Blank 9999, or Lycanube. Depending on how that all unfolds, you'll have that opponent. So you've got a little bit of a rest period for a little bit. Maybe have like a week before you have to play again.
I just need to practice a little more. I just practiced like yesterday, all the day, and well, all the day now, like 4 times. And I have the exams today, so I didn't practice today.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah. Well, this game definitely does reward a lot of those tiny bits of information about the game. So learning a little bit more definitely you can drag down that time a lot.
Yeah, I noticed that one thing that you were doing that somebody who's not familiar with the game may not do. You were really good with your knowledge of how you can throw stones, because I didn't even know that you could throw a rock at something that's inside of a wall. And I saw you do it. I'm like, oh, I learned something new today. So you're definitely very good with your rare fossil throws. So that was really cool to watch. But otherwise, if you guys did you guys have any final thoughts on the ROM? Final thoughts on the race as a whole?
No. I think this, coming off the Crystal tournament, I'm happy how I'm doing on this one so far.
I think I'm happy with my performance before this build.
Yeah, you were doing really well before the B-Doof section. The only reason Rob was ahead, I would say, was because of your options.
Hey, was his escort not the same escort as mine?
No, it's the same escort.
Then what does he mean by B-Doof? Because I don't think I even
because that's what it is.
Oh, the Noctowl.
Yeah, it's just easier to call it B-Doof.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think the only reason you were slower than Rob was because of the options, not setting the game to fast. And
I think if you had the settings on, honestly, and you knew about the golden seeds, it would have been a really close run. Because I had a death at late Mount Horn. I thought I had lost it with that. So
yeah, the game's punishing, but you guys both did really well. And we'll see you both back here very shortly. Probably see both your matches within a week and a half from now, I'd say. So thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to join our Discord, the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Speedrunning Discord, for all things Pokemon Mystery Dungeon speedrunning, as well as anything regarding this randomizer and how to get started. We'd love to help.
Also note that we have several matches going on tomorrow. Hope you'll come back to watch more of the tournament.
Right, let's take a look at that. So tomorrow,
I believe there's one at 2, 3, and 4.
Tomorrow we have Carbossi versus Easton 8 at 2 p.m. Pascaland versus Inferno Bren at 3 p.m. Epinumus versus Aerophile at it says 3 p.m. CEST. I gotta check with that. I think that'd be earlier in the day. That might be our first match tomorrow.
Going
Zaboos versus Cobra at 4 p.m. Someone versus Gamer at 7 p.m. Pixel versus Blanc at 8:15 p.m. So yeah, once again, thank you guys for playing. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you for our next match.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.